Welcome to Kaya's Corner. I already told y'all that this week I was talking about relationships and surrender. Relationships and surrender. And the analogy that I used in this reel earlier this week was when you're dating someone, it's like going to McDonald's and requesting prime rib, although you know prime rib is not on the menu. And then when McDonald's tells you that they don't serve prime rib, you try to force them to serve prime rib. And then you make it a campaign. You make it your life's mission to get McDonald's to serve prime rib. And that's how crazy you look when you're in relationships where you don't belong. That's how crazy it is when you're asking for something from someone who doesn't have the capacity or the capability to give it to you. Story time. So, I was dating this man. Look, fine, big and tall like I like him. Okay, that's a thing. And I really appreciated his discipline, his consistency. I really appreciated how detail oriented he was. Very smart, very smart. And we had a very similar lifestyle. The way that he lived his life, it benefited me. I'm a very type B personality, if you had to pick one. Although I execute and get things done, I'm an artsy girl. I like to relax, I like to take my time. I like for things to be organic. I'm not super rigid about time. And he balanced me out in a particular kind of way. But there was one major flaw. And it was the fact that he had very poor emotional maturity. Very poor. As a matter of fact, not only did he struggle with being able to manage his emotions properly, he also struggled with intimacy in a way that was just like a deal breaker. But do you know how long it took for me to realize it was a deal breaker? Almost a year and a half. Almost a year and a half. What, girl? It should never take that long. And so I started to think about, like, well, what is it, right? Is it self-worth? Is it fear? Like, what is the motivate? And I realized, no, it's actually a refusal to relinquish control, a refusal to surrender. Sometimes you have to check your own ego. I know what it's like. You get into a relationship with somebody and you've invested so much time and you've invested so many resources into the situation. You don't want to let it go. You don't want it to be a waste. And so you hang in there and you think and you believe that you have the power and you have the control and you have the ability to change them. And it's just not a real thing. And so you just wait for God to prove it to you. You just wait for God to prove it to you. Like, well, if this isn't for me, girl, you know that's not for you. But we do the same thing at jobs. You'll be at a job and you know that it's not in alignment with your spirit. You know that it's not in alignment with the things, the gifts that God gave you. It doesn't bring you joy, but you'll stay anyway because you need a paycheck. Or even sometimes in family dynamics, right? Instead of asserting boundaries with family members, you just tolerate. That's just how they are. Not realizing the control that you have is in your beingness. The control that you have is in your body. It's in your decision making. You don't have to be anywhere you don't want to be. I think we oftentimes forget how much control we actually do have when it comes to us. We're wasting time trying to control the things outside of ourselves. And that's not real power. That's an illusion, right? We look at and go from top to bottom the things that we experience in this lifetime and how many things we actually do not control. The water that comes out of your faucets, do you know what's in it? The food that we eat in this country, do you know what's in it? Or do we wait until there's a PSA announcement? So I'm just curious, like what's a relationship deal breaker for you? Right? And how do you ensure that you don't embark further into some place that's completely not in alignment with your destiny? What are the things that you do? Right? Do you take inventory? Do you take the time to sit and think and ponder and reflect? Or are you just engaging and just going day after day after day into a place, space, relationship, boo thing that just isn't for you? That's a question I think we should all reflect on, because you only get one life. You only get a particular amount of time to invest and spend in this life. There's a job to be done. Are we doing it? Are we distracting ourselves? Are we procrastinating? Are we hiding in a relationship with another person? Let me tell you, So in this same relationship, right? It's so crazy because it's like it's something that I always wanted, right? We would have this routine. We would meet up. We would I would cook dinner and you know play housewife and house boo and all of this or whatever. And it was something I thought that I wanted really really bad. I really thought I was like, oh, finally, like I'm not just out here popping and locking and you know situations shipping it up and no mess, no drama. I know he ain't cheating. How could he cheat? We spend almost every day together. He's consistent with the phone calls. The attention was there. The presence was there. The quality was poor. Piss poor. And I would spend time after time. I'm a very good communicator, truly. And I would patiently communicate my needs, my desires. I would say, hey, this isn't working for me. Hey, when you did this, hey, when this happened, I'm not sure what the motivation was, but this is how it made me feel. It's not something that I can deal with. I need you to never do that again. See, now we're negotiating with things outside of ourselves that are not in our control. Because the truth of the matter is, if a person struggles with emotional maturity, they're not going to automatically become emotionally mature just because you teach them. As a matter of fact, you can't probably teach them, especially if you're a trigger or a source or you in it with them. So I'm sitting up there, talking about all kind of tangible tools. Hey, why don't you just try breathing? Or why don't you just take a moment to, did this happen because of your child? I'm doing my best, Dr. Phil, Oprah, Iyanla. I'm giving him everything I have. And then it hit me. Girl, this is McDonald's. This is McDonald's. He cannot, the amount of traumatic experiences a person has and the amount of work they avoid doing, you can't fix that with a correction. You can't fix it. They have to do that. And you won't be you can't be the reason they do it. They do it because they love themselves. They're not going to fix it just because you want them to fix it. It won't happen. All right. Now the inversion of that I also used in this metaphor is being a walking jewelry store. And this gets to my point about boundaries, right? And this will be a heavily discussed topic at the Purge Palace because boundaries have saved my life. Boundaries have saved my life. It's been a very long journey. I recently, my training coach, shout out to Shayon Green, my training coach was like, boundaries, Blake, boundaries, because I had reached a plateau in my workouts. I had got comfortable. I was managing and trying to help all these other people, all these other places in this relationship. And he's like, boundaries. How are you going to be able to meal prep if you don't have boundaries? How are you going to make it to training on time if you don't have boundaries? And boundaries are embedded and infused in your daily life. It's not just a no. It's not just a no. It's an intentional no or an intentional yes that structures and propels you forward throughout your week, throughout your day. You have to have a boundary around your bedtime in order to be physically fit. You have to have a boundary around what you will and will not eat. I'm only drinking water. I'm not drinking anything but water. Keep your Sprite. Keep your ginger ale. It's hard to do. It's hard to do. Because sometimes you want the Sprite. You just do. It's sweet. It's bubbly. It gives you a little sensation. Sometimes you want that toxic boo. You do. Sometimes you just want the companionship. And so am I going to tolerate that and divert myself away from my goals? Or am I going to get lost in this thing? So back to my analogy. Being a walking jewelry store, I consider anyone that I know and hang out with and spend time with to be a gem. I don't hang out with people who are not gems, even flaws and all. There's no such thing as perfection, so I don't expect that. But you and your rawest, most authentic form are one of the most beautiful things I've ever seen. And it kills me. And it kills me to see people sell themselves short. Mirror. I've done it. One of my friends was telling me this story about how she was dating someone and basically the man lied. He was married, took advantage. She had got herself in a situation, ended up being pregnant by this man. It was a thing. And so I start recapping, and we're walking through and talking through how she got to that place. And there were so many similarities between our stories. I saw myself in her story, in just the little compromises, the little acceptances. See, we're missing the big thing to accept. The big thing to accept is that you cannot control somebody else. You can only control you. The little things around acceptance are we accepting bare minimum? Are we accepting bull and calling it gold? Imagine being a jewelry store and having gold everywhere in the store, and you have no hours of operation. There are no doors on the building. There's no security camera. There's no armed guard. How long will that jewelry store stand? How long will that jewelry store be in business? They're going to take it all. You will be one empty shop. One empty shop. And so, you think the business owners want to pay for state-of-the-art security? You think the business owners want to have armed guards and pay for all that plexiglass and all the? You think jewelers want to do? No, they have to do it to keep the gems safe. If you house the gems, you got. But see, that's the thing. If you don't know what you got, you won't know what you need to do to protect it. And protecting it, sometimes we do the wrong thing where we create barriers, not boundaries. We create things that are going to block people from coming anywhere near us. Oh, I don't talk to anyone. We self-isolate. A jewelry store with no customers is not a jewelry store. So we have to find that in-between space where we find a healthy way to engage with the public, engage with the people around us, know what we got, have a healthy, sustainable system in place to keep it protected, and then shine bright. Come look. Look at what I have to offer. Now, this is for sale. This ain't. Well, I'm not open right now, but I'm open tomorrow. Oh, I'm sorry. No bags. No bags. I'm sorry. You can't wear hats in here. These are metaphorical little places where you get to create boundaries for yourself. You got to know what you are. You got to know what you carry. You got to know what you bring to the table so that you know how to protect it. We're not going to belabor the point because y'all got it. This will be the one quick Kaya's Corner. Make sure, if you have not, register for the Purge Palace. Again, this is a monthly event. I know, around my birthday, everybody has all the things to do. I grew up like this. I'm a summer baby. It wasn't no classroom cupcakes for me, so I get it, right? But ultimately, this is something that's going to happen every month. It's going to engage the community in a real way. It's going to show you the truth of what Black Oasis really is. That when we all come together with our collective gifts, we create paradise. And the Purge Palace is just that, a collective paradise where Black people come together to give out gifts of healing and wellness to sustain, just get you through the next 30 days, baby. Just the next 30 days. That's all you need. So register is July 13th at 12 p.m. at the Kindred Learning Center. I will also be releasing the first edition of my poetry collection called Black Oasis. It's a collection of poems that I've been working on for a very long time. Make sure that you are in the building. It is an intimate group, so there will not be a lot of slots available. I already have people signed up and registered, and so we're getting close. We're getting close to that area. So make sure that you're in the space because who doesn't need a little boost? It's a Sunday afternoon, a perfect time just to give freely, a perfect time to just receive and to enjoy some wonderful refreshments, some wonderful tools, knowledge, conversation, and get lifted. Get lifted. Anyway, until next time, stay Black, but lucky you don't really have a choice.